Today we're going to be talking about a film from Austria, so down in the comments I want you to tell me your favorite European horror film. Hello everyone, I'm Adam Cesare. This is another episode of Project Black T-Shirt. If you like what you see here in this video, please consider subscribing and checking out all my other videos. I usually do a movie review and then I do a book recommendation to pair with that movie. Today we're going to be talking about a movie called Cold Hell, which premiered in the US as a Shudder exclusive. A few months ago I made a Is Shudder Worth It video, and then after that I reviewed Mayhem, Joe Lynch's new movie. So after I put up those videos, Shudder reached out to me and they said thanks, and they were like, is there anything we could do? Can we give you a free promo code to give to your viewers, to your subscribers, so they can get a free month of Shudder? And I was like, yeah, sure. The code is Adam, so if you want to try Shudder, and if you want to watch Cold Hell or any of the other movies that I talked about in those videos, you can use the code Adam, A-D-A-M, my name, at checkout and get a free month, I think. And that email from Shudder got me thinking that I might be a little too reliant on physical media. I love collecting Blu-rays, and that's probably not going to change. I'm probably still going to do Blu-ray reviews and videos like that. But I know that 90% of human beings stream everything now. They use Netflix, they use Hulu, they use services like Shudder. And because I don't want to kind of waste this service that I have, I figured that once a month I'd go through, pick the very best thing that I watched that month using Shudder, and we'll talk about it. And that'll be the kind of monthly thing. So once every 4 videos, roughly. This is the first one of those. As always, when we're done talking about the movie, I'm going to recommend a book that I think you should read if you like it, that I think really will pair well. And this is a good one, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay, that's enough preamble. Cold Hell was directed by Stefan Ruzowitzky. Now, that name might not sound immediately familiar, but if you're an Oscar movie watcher or you're just a film fan in general, you probably know his film The Counterfeiters, which in 2007 won the Best Foreign Language Oscar. So this guy's no slouch, and clearly no neophyte director, but he's choosing to do a very genre film at this advanced stage in his career, which kind of probably gives you a hint if it is any good or not. It is. Cold Hell is the story of Özge, a Turkish cab driver living in Vienna, kind of living paycheck to paycheck, dealing with her dysfunctional family, dealing with kind of having multiple jobs, having to look after her little cousin, niece, I forget the exact relationship, having to cover for her more eccentric, more less with it family members. She is a Thai boxer, which features heavily into the plot and heavily into her abilities to deal with the things that she's thrown into. And the general conceit is that she comes back home late one night after driving her cab, looks across her bathroom window, sees into the other apartment, and sees that the prostitute that lives there has been murdered, and that the killer is still there, and the killer looks directly across, sees that he's been kind of made, that he has a witness to his crime. And the movie really moves like greased lightning from that point. She calls the cops. The cops are like, we can't really do anything for them. There is this element that the cops don't really want to do anything for her based on her class, based on her ethnicity, based on her religion. And Özge has to basically take her self-defense and eventually her revenge into her own hands. It is a movie that is, I guess you generally call it a thriller, even though it has heavy horror elements, very scary, very tense moments, but it does fall more into the like Bone Collector, Silence of the Lambs, thriller category, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo type film, even though it does lean heavy into genre. And as I kind of implied, for a movie that has such an incredibly breathless pace, there are a ton of action scenes, one especially good one towards the end where Özge is trying to track the killer down into he hops the subway in Vienna, and she's like pushing through and trying to reach him, trying to detain him with no weapons, and the other passengers are getting in the way in surprising ways. You've seen like sequences like that of like people being pursued through subways, but you've never seen it quite like this, and it's a great little scene. But as fast-paced and as action-heavy and as scary as this movie is, it does have this core of intelligence, this core of what I think is trying to say something about a person's very slim chance of being represented by the law, being represented by the justice system, to get justice at all if they are an immigrant, if they have a different religion than the predominant religion of the area, if they are a woman of lower class that the establishment kind of doesn't run to protect. And Özge is this character that is not going to take any of this stuff. She's taken a lot of this stuff for her whole life. It's clear that she is a fighter, both literally and figuratively, and she's a really compelling, really interesting character. She's played by, and I'm going to butcher this name, but the actress's name is Violetta Schurawlow, and she's one of the better, more badass hard protagonists in recent memory. She's definitely not cut from the final girl cloth. She's more of, your Clarice Starling, even though she doesn't have a badge, even though the movie kind of comes down on this, doesn't exactly come down on the side of law enforcement and authority at all, especially once we reveal who the killer is, which is kept as kind of a third act secret. And I'm guessing that there are probably way more cultural complexities that I didn't get. You're watching this movie in translation when you're watching it. It's a German language film where they break into English at some points, break into different languages at some points, but I just don't have the cultural background, being an American, to know every reference and thing about being Austrian, being Turkish, that this movie has going for it. To the untrained eye, it reads as very textured and very nuanced, while at the same time being this kind of really great, really rock'em sock'em action movie. One of the things I love about it is it does fall into that thriller mold, but it doesn't have all the kind of Law and Order cops procedural elements that a lot of those films really get bogged down by. The focus here is really on Özge and her own investigation, as it were, her own wanting to protect herself from this killer that's coming after her. And there's some fantastic scenes in it. Like I said, it's a movie that I really, really think you should check out. If you already have Shudder, it's a no-brainer. It's good enough that I would even consider getting Shudder to check it out, because they've got a lot of other great stuff on there, as I've talked about. This week's book recommendation is In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami. Now, if that author sounds familiar, he wrote the novelette that Audition is based on, Takeshi Miike's Audition. And In the Miso Soup is a guy who hires a tour guide in Japan to show him around Tokyo, and he wants to see the seedier, grosser side of Tokyo. And as the guide is bringing this guy around, this foreigner around, he's realizing that, oh man, he might actually be a serial killer. In the Miso Soup, it's a short novel. It's not exactly a novella. It's a short novel. Reads really quick. It's super scary, super messed up. If you like kind of serial killer fiction or serial killer entertainment, and you want it to have that international bend like Cold Hell has, you should really check it out. All right, if you like this video, please hit like. If you really like this video, please subscribe. I'm Adam Cesare. I am an author. I have books. I recently released a video night on audiobook narrated by Matt Godfrey. He did a fantastic job with the book. If you want to check out any of my other novels, you can go to my website, sign up for my mailing list. I'll send you a free sample. And again, a reminder that if you want to sign up for Shudder and you want to use the code ADAM, A-D-A-M, when you sign up, that'll get you a free month, I believe. But it's a good service. Check it out. I really like it. I really like this movie. That's it. Have a great week.